I watch it with my kids. I just watched it the other day with my stepkids. I'm married now. I have two stepkids, and they'd never seen it. And I was more than happy to do it because, as Ike said, Little House on the Prairie at the time was one of the shows that everybody apart from just the popularity of it, everybody wanted to work on it.
They captured our hearts in the 1970s and 1980s as the beloved family from Walnut Grove. For 9 seasons, we watched them laugh, cry, struggle, and triumph on the American prairie. But when the cameras stopped rolling, their real lives took paths nobody could have predicted. Some found fame beyond their wildest dreams. Others vanished completely from public view. And a few stories will absolutely break your heart. Here is what happened to the cast of Little House on the Prairie.
TV guy did it to you, too?
Oh, hey, but this guy pretends that he's been with me on a set from 6 o'clock in the morning to 11:30 at night. It's very tough to say anything when I'm just pinching their throats.
The heart of the prairie. Let us begin with the man who made it all possible. Michael Landon was not just the star of Little House on the Prairie. He was the creative genius behind everything you saw on screen. Born Eugene Maurice Orowitz on October 31st, 1936, in Forest Hills, Queens, this man transformed himself into one of the most powerful forces in television history. Before Little House, Landon had already conquered television once. He spent 14 years playing Little Joe Cartwright on Bonanza, appearing in all 430 episodes of that legendary Western. But he wanted more. He wanted to tell stories that would make people feel something real. And when he read the Little House books by Laura Ingalls Wilder, he knew he had found his next mission. Landon did not just act in Little House on the Prairie. He directed 89 episodes. He wrote countless scripts. He served as executive producer. The man controlled every aspect of what you saw on your television screen. His philosophy was simple, but powerful. He wanted people to laugh and cry, not just sit and stare at the television. And boy, did he deliver on that promise. The show tackled issues that family programming rarely touched in those days: prejudice, addiction, domestic abuse, terminal illness. Landon believed families should watch together and have real conversations about real problems. The critics loved him for it. He appeared on 22 TV guide covers, second only to Lucille Ball in television history. But here is something most people do not know. Despite all his success, Michael Landon never won an Emmy Award. The reason is actually beautiful. He reportedly insisted on nominating his cast and crew members instead of himself. That was the kind of man he was. His personal life was more complicated. Landon married 3 times and had 9 children, 3 of whom were adopted. Several of his kids followed him into entertainment. Jennifer Landon went on to win 3 Daytime Emmy Awards and currently stars in Yellowstone. Christopher Landon became a successful horror film director, creating Happy Death Day and directing Scream 7. Michael Landon Jr. created the Hallmark series When Calls the Heart. And Leslie Landon appeared on the show before becoming a clinical psychologist specializing in helping grieving children. Tragedy struck on April 5, 1991, when Landon was diagnosed with inoperable pancreatic cancer. He fought bravely, but lost his battle on July 1, 1991, at just 54 years old. His headstone carries a message that perfectly captures who he was. It reads that he seized life with joy, gave to life generously, and leaves a legacy of love and laughter. Now let us talk about the woman who stood beside him on screen for all those years. Karen Grassle played Caroline Ingalls, the devoted mother who held the Ingalls family together through every hardship. Born on February 25, 1942, in Berkeley, California, Grassle beat out 47 other actresses for the role that would define her career. What most viewers never knew was that Grassle was fighting her own battles behind the scenes. In her 2021 memoir called Bright Lights, Prairie Dust, she revealed something shocking. She was a high-functioning alcoholic during much of the filming. She achieved sobriety in June 1977 and has maintained it for over 48 years now. Her relationship with Landon was complicated. Early salary disputes created tension that never fully healed. But in her memoir, she also expressed reconciliation with Landon before his death, showing that even the most difficult relationships can find peace. Today, at 83 years old, Karen Grassle is living her best life. She attended the 50th anniversary celebrations in 2024 and made a surprising announcement. She had reconnected with a sculptor named Robert Gove, a man she had dated when she was just 19 years old. They fell back in love, and she even purchased an apartment in Carrara, Italy, to split her time between continents. The Ingalls parents set the foundation for one of television's most beloved families, but their children would go on to forge their own remarkable paths, some staying in the spotlight while others vanished completely from public life. The Ingalls children. Melissa Gilbert became America's sweetheart as the spirited and adventurous Laura Ingalls. Born on May 8, 1964, she was adopted the day after her birth and raised by actor Paul Gilbert and dancer Barbara Crane. When she auditioned for the role of Laura, she beat out over 500 other child actresses. She went on to appear in 191 of the show's 205 episodes, more than any other cast member. Her relationship with Michael Landon became deeply personal. When her adoptive father died by self-harm in 1976, she was told it was a stroke. The truth devastated her, but Landon stepped in as a surrogate father figure. Years later, when she had a son, she named him Michael in Landon's honor. Gilbert's career after Little House was impressive. She served as president of the Screen Actors Guild from 2001 to 2005, winning re-election against Kent McCord and serving on the AFL-CIO Executive Council. She competed on Dancing with the Stars in 2012, placing 5th after suffering a concussion during a Paso Doble routine. Her 2009 memoir called Prairie Tale became a New York Times bestseller. Her personal life made headlines too. 3 marriages brought her 2 sons. Her first marriage to Bo Brinkman lasted from 1988 to 1994. Her second marriage to Bruce Boxleitner went from 1995 to 2011. And in April 2013, she married actor Timothy Busfield, with whom she now lives in a cozy cottage in the Catskills Mountains of New York. Now, let us talk about her television sister. Melissa Sue Anderson played Mary Ingalls, Laura's older sister, whose heartbreaking storyline of losing her sight captivated audiences. Born on September 26, 1962, Anderson holds a special distinction. She is the only cast member who received an Emmy nomination for the show itself, earning a 1978 nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series when she was just 16 years old. Anderson always maintained a more private life than her co-stars. In the 1990s, she relocated to Montreal and became a naturalized Canadian citizen on July 1, 2007. Her 2010 memoir called The Way I See It offered rare glimpses into her time on the show, including honest observations that Landon was not perfect, as much as he tried to be. Sadly, her husband of many years, TV writer Michael Sloan, passed away in August 2025, leaving her recently widowed. She remains the most private of the major cast members, though she has gradually increased her participation in reunion events in recent years. And then there were the twins. Sidney and Lindsay Greenbush were born on May 25, 1970, and they shared the role of Carrie Ingalls, the youngest sister. California child labor laws restricted how many hours child actors could work, so using twins effectively doubled the available filming time. They were credited jointly as Lindsay Sidney Greenbush, which led many viewers to believe only one actress played the part. Remember that famous opening credits sequence where little Carrie tumbles down the hill? That was Sidney, and here is the funny story behind it. Her mother accidentally put her shoes on the wrong feet that day. Both twins refused to run down the hill again after the fall, so the unplanned tumble made it into television history. After the show ended, both sisters stepped away from Hollywood. Sidney competed in barrel racing on the professional rodeo circuit and now breeds horses in Central California while working in information technology. Lindsay earned an accounting degree and works as a horse trainer in Simi Valley. In 2014, she married Danny Sanchez, a man she had first met as a child on the Big Sky Ranch set where the show was filmed. While the Ingalls children found their own ways forward, a group of supporting players would prove that some of television's most memorable characters are not the heroes. They are the villains you love to hate. The Oleson. No discussion of Little House on the Prairie is complete without talking about the Oleson family. And nobody embodied delicious villainy quite like Allison Arngrim as the scheming, spoiled Nellie Oleson. Born on January 18, 1962, Arngrim originally auditioned for the roles of Laura and Mary before landing the part that would define her career. Her signature ringlet wig was held so tightly to her head that it actually made her scalp bleed. But the discomfort was worth it. Nellie Oleson became one of the most memorable television villains of all time. Behind her perfect portrayal of a bratty rich girl, Arngrim was hiding terrible secrets. Her 2010 memoir, called Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, became a New York Times bestseller when she publicly identified her brother as her childhood abuser for the first time. The book transformed her personal tragedy into a platform for advocacy. Her closest friend on set was Steve Tracy, who played her on-screen husband Percival. When Tracy died from AIDS-related complications on November 27, 1986, at just 34 years old, Arngrim was devastated. She claims she was the only cast member who knew Tracy was gay. His death inspired her to become a passionate advocate for AIDS awareness during the epidemic's most stigmatized years. She volunteered with AIDS Project Los Angeles and ACT UP, fighting for recognition and resources when many people were too afraid to even speak the word AIDS. Today, at 63, Arngrim performs her one-woman show based on her memoir. She performs it entirely in French for standing-room-only crowds in France, where the show remains enormously popular. She co-hosts the Little House 50 for 50 podcast with Dean Butler and remains active in child protection advocacy as California Chair of Protect. Playing Nellie's equally outrageous mother was Catherine McGregor as Harriet Oleson. Born Dorley Dean McGregor on January 12, 1925, she trained with legendary acting teachers Sanford Meisner and Stella Adler before bringing her impeccable comedic timing to the role that made her famous. What many fans do not know is that McGregor converted to Hinduism while recovering from alcoholism. She took her faith so seriously that she missed the series finale to go on a pilgrimage to India. After the show ended, she founded a children's theater company and lived a quiet, spiritual life. She never remarried after 2 brief early marriages and had no children. She spent her final years at the Motion Picture and Television Fund home and passed away on November 13, 2018, at the age of 93. Melissa Gilbert's tribute called her outspoken and hilariously funny, able to play a despicable character, but with so much heart. Richard Bull played the long-suffering Nels Oleson, Harriet's patient husband, who served as the voice of reason in their Walnut Grove general store. Born on June 26, 1924, Bull was a self-described movie nut from Zion, Illinois, who served as a radio operator in the Army Air Corps before pursuing acting. His extensive filmography included High Plains Drifter, The Andromeda Strain, and The Thomas Crown Affair. But it was his gentle portrayal of Nels that won the hearts of millions. Bull remained married to actress Barbara Collentine for an incredible 65 years until his death from pneumonia on February 3, 2014, at age 89. Alison Arngrim eulogized him as just as kind, intelligent, thoughtful, and reasonable as you would expect Nels Oleson to be. And then there is the most mysterious story of all. Jonathan Gilbert played Nellie's mischievous brother Willie Oleson for 138 episodes. Born on April 28, 1967, he was adopted by the same parents as Melissa Gilbert, making them siblings in real life. When the show ended, Jonathan did something almost unheard of in Hollywood. He completely walked away, not just from acting, but from his entire family. According to Melissa's memoir, he completely cut himself off from the family at age 18. Jonathan relocated to New York, earned degrees from Hamilton College and Baruch College's Zicklin School of Business, and became a stockbroker in 2003. For decades, he made virtually no public appearances. His absence from reunions fueled constant speculation. Then something extraordinary happened at the March 2024 reunion celebrating the show's 50th anniversary. Jonathan Gilbert walked in. Melissa Gilbert later wrote about the moment, saying he made the biggest entrance of any cast member. Of course, everybody screamed. She burst into tears. Jonathan participated in panels, recreated vintage photos with Alison Arngrim, and seemed genuinely happy to reconnect. Melissa now regularly posts childhood photos of them together, suggesting a genuine reconciliation after decades of estrangement. The Oleson family brought comedy and chaos to Walnut Grove. But another family would face some of the show's most dramatic and heartbreaking storylines, including tragedy, adoption, and characters whose real lives proved just as remarkable as their fictional ones. The extended families. Victor French played Isaiah Edwards, the rough-edged yet kind-hearted neighbor who became a lifelong friend to the Ingalls family. Born on December 4, 1934, French first met Michael Landon on the set of Bonanza. Their friendship would span decades and multiple television series. French left Little House in 1977 to star in his own series called Carter Country, but he returned enthusiastically for later seasons. When Landon created Highway to Heaven in 1984, French followed him, co-starring as retired cop Mark Gordon and directing every third episode. In a 1985 interview, French credited Landon with being the first to see beyond his looks and pushing him away from villain typecasting. Tragedy struck when French was diagnosed with lung cancer in April 1989. He was in Dublin filming live-action segments for an animated film when he received the devastating news. He died just 3 months later on June 15, 1989, at age 54. That is the same age Michael Landon would be when he died just 2 years later. Bonnie Bartlett played Grace Snyder Edwards during the show's early seasons. Born on June 20, 1929, her career-defining role came later on St. Elsewhere, where she won consecutive Emmy Awards in 1986 and 1987 for Outstanding Supporting Actress. In 1986, She and her husband, William Daniels, became the first married couple to win acting Emmys on the same night since Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontanne in 1965. Here is an incredible fact. Bartlett and Daniels married on June 30th, 1951, after meeting at Northwestern University. Their marriage has now lasted 74 years, making them likely the oldest living married couple in Hollywood. At 96 years old, Bartlett published her memoir in 2023 and remains active in the entertainment industry. Merlin Oleson brought genuine athletic credibility to the role of Jonathan Garvey. Before becoming an actor, Oleson was already a Hall of Fame football player. As a defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams from 1962 to 1976, he earned 14 Pro Bowl selections, a record at the time. He anchored the legendary fearsome foursome defensive line and graduated summa cum laude from Utah State with a finance degree. After Little House, Oleson starred in the spin-off Father Murphy and worked as NBC's lead NFL color commentator, calling 5 Super Bowls alongside Dick Enberg. He was diagnosed with peritoneal mesothelioma in 2009 and died on March 11, 2010, at age 69. Utah State named their football field Merlin Oleson Field in December 2009. Too ill to speak at the ceremony, he stood and waved during a standing ovation. Hersha Parody played schoolteacher Alice Garvey from 1977 to 1980. Her departure from the show became one of television's most memorable death scenes. In the February 1980 episode called May We Make Them Proud, Alice dies in a schoolhouse fire while trying to save children, including Mary's infant son. Parady died on August 23, 2023, at age 78 from complications following brain tumor surgery. Alison Arngrim announced her death on social media, calling her wild, untamable, and talented. The Labourteaux brothers overcame incredible early challenges to build lasting careers. Matthew Labourteaux was born on December 8, 1966, and adopted at 10 months old. Born with a hole in his heart, he was thought to be autistic and could not walk until age 3 or speak until age 5. Experts told his parents he might never lead a normal life. Matthew proved everyone wrong. He became Albert Quinn Ingalls starting in 1978 and later transitioned to voice acting, most notably as Jaden Yuki in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. He married in July 2020 and now watches Little House with his stepchildren, who initially had no idea their stepfather was on the show. Today, he looks absolutely stunning in his 60s. His brother Patrick Labourteaux was born on July 22, 1965, and played Andy Garvey. His career-defining role came as Lieutenant Commander Bud Roberts, Jr. on JAG from 1995 to 2005, a character he reprised on NCIS. The brothers co-founded the Youth Rescue Fund in 1992, raising approximately $11 million for youth shelters. These families faced joy and tragedy in equal measure. But some cast members would go on to achieve fame far beyond Walnut Grove, becoming household names in entirely different genres and eras of television. From Walnut Grove to Hollywood, a list. Jason Bateman's career trajectory is perhaps the most remarkable of any Little House alumnus. Born on January 14, 1969, he appeared in 19 episodes as James Cooper Ingalls in 1981 and 1982, when he was just 12 years old. After Little House, Bateman transitioned to Silver Spoons and the Hogan family. At 18, he became the youngest person ever to join the Directors Guild of America when he directed episodes of the latter show. But the 1990s were difficult, and his career stalled. Then came the comeback. Arrested Development launched in 2003, and earned Bateman a 2005 Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. But Ozark made him a superstar. The Netflix drama ran from 2017 to 2022, and Bateman won an Emmy for Outstanding Directing in 2019. He also captured 3 SAG Awards for Outstanding Male Actor in a Drama Series, tying James Gandolfini's record for a single show. Now 56, Bateman runs his production company and recently starred alongside Jude Law in the Netflix series Black Rabbit. His Hollywood Walk of Fame star was unveiled in 2017. Shannon Doherty became a 1990s icon before her heartbreaking cancer battle. Born on April 12, 1971, she played Jenny Wilder in the final season after Michael Landon discovered her on Father Murphy. She became a cultural phenomenon as Brenda Walsh on Beverly Hills 90-2010 and Prue Halliwell on Charmed, though both departures were marked by reported conflicts. Her breast cancer diagnosis came in March 2015. After achieving remission in 2017, the cancer returned and was revealed as Stage 4 in February 2020. By January 2023, it had spread to her brain. She died on July 13, 2024, at age 53, surrounded by loved ones and her dog Bowie. Kyle Richards reinvented herself as reality television royalty. Born on January 11, 1969, she played Alicia Sanderson Edwards in 18 episodes. Her career actually began with horror. At age 9, she played Lindsay Wallace in John Carpenter's original Halloween, a role she reprised in Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends decades later. She joined The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in 2010 and remains the only original full-time cast member after 15 seasons. That is the longest consecutive run in franchise history. Linwood Boomer found his true calling behind the camera. Born on October 9, 1955, he played Mary's husband Adam Kendall in 35 episodes starting in 1978. After transitioning to writing and producing, he created Malcolm in the Middle, which ran from 2000 to 2006, and revolutionized sitcom format with its single-camera production. A Malcolm in the Middle revival titled Life's Still Unfair will premiere on Disney Plus in April 2026. Boomer wrote all 4 episodes and serves as executive producer. Melissa Francis transitioned from child star to award-winning journalist. Born on December 12, 1972, she played Cassandra Cooper Ingalls from 1981 to 1982. She graduated with honors from Harvard University in economics and built a successful journalism career at CNBC and Fox News. Some found fame in unexpected places, but others chose to leave Hollywood entirely, finding fulfillment in lives far removed from the entertainment industry. Life after the spotlight. Dean Butler became the show's foremost historian and most passionate guardian of Little House legacy. Born on May 20, 1956, in Prince George, British Columbia, he joined the cast in 1979 as Almanzo Wilder, Laura's charming love interest and eventual husband. His casting created an age gap situation that he has openly acknowledged could never happen today. Butler was 23 years old while Melissa Gilbert was just 15 when they filmed their very first kiss together on screen. After Little House ended, Butler carved out an impressive career on stage and screen. He originated the role of Rapunzel's prince in the Broadway production of Into the Woods and played Moondoggie in the new Gidget television series. But his true passion became preserving the history of the show that made him famous. He produced acclaimed documentaries including Little House on the Prairie, The Legacy of Laura Ingalls Wilder, and Almanzo Wilder, Life Before Laura. His 2024 memoir, called Prairie Man, My Little House, Life and Beyond, was published for the show's 50th anniversary. Today, he co-hosts the anniversary podcast with Alison Arngrim and remains deeply involved in reunion events. Radams Pera traded Hollywood for home theater installation. Born on September 14, 1960, he was already famous as young Kane on Kung Fu when he joined Little House as John Sanderson Edwards Jr. He is the only surviving regular cast member from that martial arts series. After leaving acting, Pera founded a home theater design company and worked for celebrity clients, including Johnny Depp, Nicolas Cage, and Sharon Stone. He moved to France in 2017 and is currently writing his memoirs. Alison Balson took the most academically impressive path of any cast member. After playing troublemaker Nancy Oleson from 1981 to 1983, she earned degrees from Princeton University and Trinity College, Dublin. Now a singer-songwriter near Fort Worth, Texas, she released a single in 2024 as a tribute to Michael Landon. While some found peace away from cameras, others dedicated their entire lives to acting. Character actors and supporting players whose contributions deserve recognition shaped the heart and soul of Walnut Grove. The Unsung Heroes. Dabbs Greer brought Reverend Robert Alden's gentle authority to the series, while maintaining one of the most prolific careers in entertainment history. Born on April 2, 1917, his nearly 700 combined film and television appearances across 65 years included being the first-person Superman saved in the 1952 series premiere. His most prominent late career role came in The Green Mile in 1999, where he played the 108-year-old version of Paul Edgecombe, 61 years after his 1938 film debut. Never married, Greer died on April 28, 2007 at age 90. His hometown of Anderson, Missouri, renamed a park in his honor. Kevin Hagen portrayed beloved physician Dr. Hiram Baker for 113 episodes. Born on April 3, 1928, the son of professional ballroom dancers whose father abandoned the family when Kevin was 5, he did not start acting until age 27. After Little House, he developed a stage show based on his character. He died of esophageal cancer on July 9, 2005, at age 77. Charlotte Stewart played beloved schoolteacher Miss Beadle from 1974 to 1978. During those same years, she filmed her role in David Lynch's surrealist masterpiece, Eraserhead. Lynch later cast her in Twin Peaks, making her one of the few actresses to work in both wholesome prairie drama and avant-garde cinema. Now in her 80s, Stewart remains active at fan conventions for both franchises and hand sews bags to support breast cancer charities. Moses Gunn portrayed Joe Kagan while maintaining a distinguished stage career. He earned a 1976 Tony nomination and co-founded the Negro Ensemble Company in the 1960s. He played Bumpy Jonas in both Shaft films and earned an Emmy nomination for Roots. He died on December 16, 1993, at age 64. Billy Barty stood 3 feet 9 inches tall and built a 73-year career in entertainment. His most enduring legacy is founding Little People of America in 1957, growing it from 21 people to over 7,500 members. He served on President George H.W. Bush's board, helping pass the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. He died on December 23, 2000, at age 76. Carl Swenson played Lars Hansen, founder of Walnut Grove, for 40 episodes. He died of a heart attack on October 8, 1978, just 8 days before his final episode aired, in which his character also died. Leslie Landon, Michael's daughter, appeared in 20 episodes as teacher Etta Plum. After leaving acting, she earned a Ph.D. in psychology from Pepperdine University and now practices as a clinical psychologist specializing in children dealing with loss. The 50th anniversary celebrations revealed something remarkable. Despite decades of divergent paths, estrangements, and losses, the cast still considers itself a family. Jonathan Gilbert's surprise reunion appearance, Melissa Gilbert's emotional breakdown at seeing her brother, and Allison Arngrim being inconsolable with joy speak to bonds that transcend a television set in Simi Valley. So which cast member's journey surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know who was your favorite character from Little House on the Prairie.